Actually, the same club I was in, there was this black girl with like this, I'm just gonna say Arabic. I don't know what he was. Let's say Arabic dude, and he was a little shorter than she was. They're having a good time together. Like, so I'm leaving, when I see them on the opposite side of the road, and there's a guy on a bike, and he was talking to them. He finishes talking, he comes over to me. He's like, "You see that?" I was like, "What?" He said, "Them two over there." They're like, "Yeah." He's like, "That doesn't bother you?" I'm like, "No. Why would it bother me? You don't care that the black girl is with not a black man?" I was like, "No." He's like, hold on. And so I was like, "No." And he's like, "Well, do you date black women?" I was like, "Yeah, I mean, I date anyone." He's like, "Oh, you don't date black women," that kind of shit. So after that, he proceeds to be like, you smoke this, you know that. I was like, "No." He's like, "Sure, I mean, I'll get a little sample, it was free." So I'm just like, how is this guy gonna have like a moral quandary about who dates who, but you out here selling drugs that can potentially kill people? And he was like a Muslim or something like that. I'm like, you are the biggest hypocrite right now, sir.
Let's get it. Shake it like understand who I is. Not that many gon' do it like this. Bob your head, we can hear my shit, but I'm on my shit. I ain't
Welcome to TDG on the road, as we just had one half of TDG, Sean, coming back from using his passport bro, passport gang in the building. And I just picked him up from the airport. You had a nice, 2-week vacation?
Yeah, like 14, 15 days, something like that. Birthday vacation.
Birthday vacation. I forgot to tell you happy birthday.
Oh, don't worry about it.
My bad. Hey, happy birthday.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, man, talk to us about your trip. People want to put a stank on the Passport Bros name, but tell me about your trip. How was it traveling as a 6-foot chocolate brother over
2 inches, sir.
over in the European nation?
It was very, very nice. I mean, first off, I talked about before, I think somewhere on the channel, that because of where I work at, I do have certain travel perks, and this time just happened to work out where I was able to get first class at a pretty decent deal. I had to use some of my miles and some money, but first time ever traveling first class. So it was definitely a treat. If you can ever travel first class, make sure that you do. It's definitely worth it. I fly United pretty much exclusively because there's no point in me spreading the love around.
True.
I don't know if you guys have looked at you've probably seen first class seats, and they're probably big recliners. But at least for United, I'm sure a couple of other airliners, they have basically seats that recline all the way flat. And even me, who's 6'2", I still had a couple of inches of toe room to lay flat and go to sleep if I wanted to. But the first thing is, you get on board, they bring you champagne. And I was like, "Oh, excuse me." This is how they do it in first class, the highfalutins.
Call him Champagne Poppy in this joint.
Right? And as far as I know, all drinks are free on first class, but I wasn't trying to test that out. So I just took what was offered to me for free.
No.
But yeah, it's definitely different. There's a reason, I think there's a reason why they put the curtain between like first class and everybody else.
So everybody else don't hate?
Pretty much. Because I don't think want you know what's happening in first class.
All right.
Because even the food is better. I'll have to pop in a picture of I did take a picture of the meals I got. And these are like course meals. They're pretty damn good for airplane food.
Nice.
Yeah, the service is better. Very attentive to your needs. Oh, and at least Flex United, you go to your seat and there's like a little care package for you. It's for everybody. So there's a robe. Sometimes you get slippers. You get socks, you get a toothbrush, toothpaste, earplugs, a little night shade cap for your eyes when you want to go to sleep, a bottle of water, and when they bring you your food, you actually get actual silverware, not plastic, not no spork. You get silverware. And they also bring over a hot towel for you. I was like, what's to do with this? But I was like, all right, just wipe my hands and my face with it. I guess it was just to do. So you get a hot towel as well. So yeah, the flight was good. It was. I flew from Dulles to O'Hare, I was trying to get those miles in, the miles and trips, so I can up my stats faster. That's a little trick for you guys if you guys don't know. At least I'm just talking United this whole trip. I don't fly anything else. I can't speak on any airline really. If you want to get your sky miles up, it's called like PQP and some other stuff. But if you want to get your miles up basically, and you're not pressed for getting to a location at a certain time, book in a layover somewhere. And just look at, 1 stop, 2 stops, whatever like works for you. So I purposely booked to fly from Washington Dulles to Chicago O'Hare, then from Chicago O'Hare to Frankfurt, Germany, then from Frankfurt, Germany to Berlin. And it was all the same day. I think I was probably traveling maybe 11 hours. So it wasn't a long trip. And the cost was, the regular price for the trip before I put any upgrades in there was about $1,400 to go to Germany.
That's not bad.
Yeah, and that's round trip. But that's not first class though. That was economy.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. For me to get first class, I had to pay or give up 20,000 of my miles and pay an extra like $500 to $600 extra.
Okay.
Which I thought was worth it.
Do you know what it would have been regular price?
No, I didn't look that up.
Okay.
Yeah. I just know that when I went to Australia, I did look at what first class would have cost without any points or nothing, and that was about $4,000 one way to Australia for first class. When my round trip originally for economy was $4,000 for Australia. But on the way back, I did upgrade myself to, I think, business class. I can't do economy. I was going crazy in the economy. I was gonna do something I would have got kicked off of the airplane for.
You'd be like, that's it, right back there. Kind of like that one crazy lady who went viral.
Believe it. I don't give two but I am telling you right now, that mother back there is not real.
Right. Yeah, I've been like, what was that, Karen?
Yep.
Yeah, that's all I mean about the airlines for the most part. United did a great job. Thanks, United. Go ahead and sponsor us. But yeah, so the first stop was Berlin. Never been to Germany before in my life. And it was a treat. It was a lot of fun. It's a very lively city. I didn't even know what to expect when I got there. But it was a great area that I picked out. And I picked everything out by choice. By chance. So I'll have to like put in, when one of us edit this up, I'll put where I stayed or the area that I stayed. So here's a tip for you guys. If you want to meet people and you're not the most outgoing person, pretty much every major city has a pub crawl. Now, yeah, so I don't know if you guys know what a pub crawl is. It's basically exactly what it sounds like. You sign up, it's like $20 or $30, and then you go to 4 different pubs and you end off at a club. And typically at every location you go to, you either get like a free drink or a free shot upon entering, and your drinks are also a little bit discounted usually. So it's a great way to meet people. You're drinking, you have a good time, and it's a lot of fun. So I met a lot of people. I met pretty much everyone was a stranger, but I had some random people start singing me happy birthday. I'm good. Go ahead.
Happy birthday to you. Bon anniversaire. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear son. Happy birthday to you.
On my birthday.
Nice.
Because one girl, she was like, "Why are you here?" I'm like, "Oh, my birthday vacation." And she's like, "It's your birthday?" She's like, "Nah." She said, "When's your birthday?" I was like, "Today." She's like, "No, it's not." I was like, "Yeah, it is." So I pull out my passport. She looked at it. She's like, "Oh my God, it's your birthday." So she got like just a bunch of random people start singing me happy birthday in different languages, it was kind of cool, but it sounded horrible. But I definitely appreciated it. And that was a fun night. I don't want to blow up my own head, but I was kind of like the top dog, at least for this pub crawl for the most part.
Nice. If you don't drink, is it still worth it to do it to meet people?
Oh, definitely.
Okay.
But like I said, it's an easy way to meet people. And if you're the type of person that needs a little bit of alcohol, a little bit of liquid courage to get things going, definitely do it. I've done it in a couple different cities. I've done it in London, I did it in Amsterdam, I did it in Berlin. I think there was one other place I did it in, but I can't remember what it was. So yeah, I did that in Berlin. Berlin was great. Made some I guess good friends out there. We'll see if we stay friends. Oh, the one thing about Berlin that I did do. Woo! So I met this one girl out there. She was Filipino. She was really cool. She took me to this club called the Kit Kat Club. So Berlin is big on the not EDM. What's the other type of music?
Like the
techno.
big techno stuff. Yeah.
They're big on techno. I don't want to give them a bad name, but they do. There's a lot of drugs out there too. I didn't do any drugs.
Like raves and stuff like that. Yeah.
Raves. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And there are a couple of like famous clubs up there. One named the Berghain or Berghain, however you say it. I didn't go to that one. Anyways, went to the Kit Kat Club. The Kit Kat Club is basically a fetish club.
Okay.
In the sense where you got people walking around and basically like BDSM type stuff, like leather stuff and costumes, but it's a really chill atmosphere. It's not strange other than people are very scantily clad in whatever they're wearing. And if you do go to Kit Kat Club, you are going to see people having sex around you. It's just what happens there. And I did see people having sex around me.
Okay.
Yeah. It's and it, like I said, it's not weird, but the thing is, like, you can look but don't stare. And everything is very cordial. So if you wanted to join, you just say, "Hey, can I join?" I did not do that. I was strictly what do you call it? A person who watches, not a voyeur, but I just watched what was going on, and I danced. Oh, the other thing is, so for men, you can't go in with a shirt. They make you take your shirt off at the door, unless you're wearing some kind of like black get-up that's like latex or mesh or whatever.
Gotcha. So like if you had a leather vest or the leather strap, whatever type stuff on your upper body.
Yeah. Think Conan the Barbarian, but in black.
Gotcha.
So the first thing you walk in, and so I walked in, I was wearing a button-up shirt and one of these little compression tech tees, whatever. And so she was like, "Yeah, take off your shirt." And I was like, "Okay." I took off my shirt, and she's like, "That one too." I was like, "Oh." You want me to show my shame? So, yeah, I mean, that's kind of how Americans are, I think, for the most part. Because in Europe, your body is just another body.
It's just a body. Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes. I remember the first time I walked onto a beach, and it happened to be a nude beach, but it's not a nude beach, it's a regular beach. And if you want to be nude, you can be nude. And I'm just like, oh, well, it's different.
Right, exactly. You really find out real quick how different America is, or at least uptight or stuffy it is when it comes to not having clothes on in public. But in Europe, yeah, it's different. Berlin concluded, and from Berlin I went to Amsterdam.
So hold on, because you and I got a friend of the show. He's tuned in and stuff from time to time. Did y'all get the opportunity to link up?
I don't know, did we, Jason?
Oh, Jason, what's up, man? I know I wrote you. Hey, let me know if you alive, man. I haven't heard back from him.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm not mad. I mean, I know people have their lives and stuff like that, and like I said, I was expecting to meet up with him and shoot some content. Like I said, even though we didn't meet up, it still worked out. I still had a lot of fun in Berlin. I do want to go back. I don't know when, but I want to go back.
I've been to Germany when I was like 1 or 2 years old, so I haven't been myself, but it is definitely on the list. I've heard that if you go for their Oktoberfest, it is a fantastic time. So one of these days, I have to make that work out.
Yeah, you should, definitely.
How's the food there?
I don't really know. Because I didn't spend a lot of time like really eating the food. I was basically out there to party, just have a good time. So I did have I don't know what kind of food you would call it, but I had like falafel. I don't know, whatever that part of the world kind of food is. But it was really good. I went to like twice, to the point where the guy, he knew when I came back. He's like, he knew exactly what I wanted. I got the same thing. I was a little bit drunk the night before. Oh, it's another thing about Berlin. They party till late. For the most part, most clubs close about 5 or 6 a.m. Some clubs just keep on going. Like the Berghain, they go 3 to 4 days straight, I think it is. They start like on Friday and go to like Monday. A lot of reviews, and they were seeing a lot of clubs that are hard to get into. I had no issues getting in. I don't know if it's because they look at me and see he's an American, he's probably going to spend some money, but I had no issues. Like the reviews were saying the bouncers were racist, the bouncers would beat you up, the bouncers would watch you get beat up, the staff on the inside were rude. I didn't experience any of that. Everywhere I went, staff was great, bouncers were great, had a good time, had zero issues at all.
did you show up solo or did you have arm candy going in? Because I've heard that sometimes that helps.
Yeah, that does help. It was a mix. So for the pub crawl, it was, they couldn't not let us in. It's set up.
Gotcha.
But I ended up going back to that same club, I think a different night, and no issues. Just let me go right in.
Okay.
It could have been because I went there late though. I went till like at 3 o'clock in the morning. And then I went to the Kit Kat Club with a Filipino girl who speaks a couple different languages, and one of which is German. I don't think I would have been let in to Kit Kat if I didn't speak German, because I did read about that they won't let you in unless you're like a native German or you speak German. Because they'll give you like a little small test. They'll ask you a question in German, and I guess if you don't know how to answer it, then they're like, oh, this night isn't for you, or come back another time. Yeah.
All right, man. That's a pro tip. Pro tip, TDG.
Exactly. So make sure try to make a friend with one of the locals that speaks the language. They'll help you out. So from Berlin, went to Amsterdam. This is my second time in Amsterdam. I didn't do much in Amsterdam because I was tired from Berlin. I was up like so many hours. I was drinking, and oh man. And so I mostly slept in Amsterdam. But my hotel room was so nice. I actually had a balcony, like overlooking, I guess, the downtown area, kind of.
Dope.
Part of the perks, like, except from work, because they gave me like a free upgrade to a better room. And in Amsterdam, you may or may not want to rent a bike, depending on where you're going to go in Amsterdam. But the mode of travel, mostly in Amsterdam, is bicycle. So if you don't know how to ride a bicycle, you'll probably be walking. There's a lot more bicycles than are people in Amsterdam, so there's a lot more bicycles than there are cars in Amsterdam as well. You guys might know about the red light district in Amsterdam. Where they have women basically behind windows or behind doors, and they will, don't fall for it, guys. It's kind of like a strip club where they all make you feel special. I did not partake once again, but they will give you one of these to come over and talk to them, so they can kind of barter out what you want to do or what you want.
Did you see one though that made it real difficult? Did you see one that was like,
That's the tough part, because for the most part they all look good.
Okay.
But you gotta remember like what you're there for. You gotta stay strong. And for me, it's tough for me. I've never paid for it before, and for me, I couldn't do it. I was walking back from the hotel the last night. I got really hungry, and I had to go out and get some food before places closed up. So once again, it was like almost 3 o'clock in the morning. And I'm walking past the church, because there's the red light district extends out to this church, and by this church, it's kind of where they have the black girls. It's kind of weird they have the black girls like in the outskirts of the red light district, but that's just how it is, I guess. And as I'm walking by, I see in the corner of my eye this black girl in the window, and she like rushes to the door, and all I hear is like, and she opens the door, and she's like, "Hey, I'll do you for free." And I was like, "Whoa!"
Oh man, like I have a visual in my head now of what she looked like and how that looked and the way she sounded.
Yeah.
Oh, that's hilarious.
I was just like, whoa, calm down. I just kept it moving though. I wanted to stop and talk to her, just be like, really? You gonna do it to me? I wasn't gonna accept, but I just wanted to see where it would go. But yeah, I didn't. I just kept it moving. So I did do a bar crawl in Amsterdam, or pub crawl in Amsterdam, and that was fun. The people I was there during the week, so it wasn't that happening. It was about 14 or 15 of us total, so it was a bit intimate. And we all kind of got to know each other pretty well, but they were all younger than I was, probably like in their early to mid 20s, and I just turned 40, so there was that. We ended up going to this bar at the end that was basically a club, which was okay. We did some dancing there, showed off some moves, cut a rug. And so I made a friend with this one guy from London and this one guy from, I think, Scotland. And of course, the stereotypes apparently is true, at least with this guy. They drink, and this guy,
they will drink you under the table.
Oh yes. And this guy, he was cool. He thought he was a bit of a Casanova, because he was trying to dance with everyone. Pretty much like left or disappeared at some point. But he stayed, me, and the British guy stayed out for a little bit longer. And he was trying to talk to some girls, and I was like, dude, they're not interested in you. I can just tell they're not interested in you. So long story short, something happened. I didn't see what happened. And when what I did see was him giving one of the chicks the finger, and apparently he went and told the bouncer that one of the girls hit him. I didn't see the hit happen, and I believe it did happen, but I just didn't see it. But like I said, he was drunk. He was drinking.
Yeah.
And what happened was, I guess the bouncer called him out all outside, and there was another dude that was with the girls, and basically they all kind of lied on him. And I don't know what they said, but what they said was in unison, and they were like, well, you got to go because they're all three are saying this about you. So they kicked him out. I was going to step in and help him out, but I was like, nah.
Smart.
I'm not doing that. Because like I said, he was already drunk enough. And I was like, I'm not dealing with the drunk. I'm not babysitting. It's not what I'm out here for. Yeah, like I said, everyone was cool. He got my WhatsApp because there's a WhatsApp. We're in a WhatsApp group, so in case you got lost or hung up someplace, we could all know where we're going and meet up. So it's very organized. So after Amsterdam, I went to Latvia. I have a friend who you've met her before.
Mm-hmm, yep.
She's from Latvia, and she used to live here in the States. She came as an au pair. So we've stayed in contact, and I stayed with her in her apartment. It was very tiny. It was basically a studio. It was just a kitchen and a living room, and the living room couch pulls out into a bed basically. I thought it might be like a Murphy bed, like in the wall, but no, it's just the couch. And she showed me around. She did a great job. She was a great tour guide. She had like a whole itinerary. She literally sent me an itinerary for each day. And she was like, what do you want to do? Like, you can pick any of these things. We can do all these things. Because
she seems like such a planner.
Yeah.
I liked her.
She was so psyched to like show me her country. And I loved every minute of it.
Yeah. Hey, she's told me, and I don't know if you watch TDG, but you've told me if I ever came that you'd show me around too. Mm-hmm. I'm going to hold you to it.
Yeah, she will. Trust me, it was definitely worth it. We went to this one place. It was a castle, but it was more like a mansion, I think. But they call it a castle. I don't watch like Downton Abbey. I do watch like The Great on Hulu. So if you've seen any of those shows, it's one of those big like mansions that has like 30 different bedrooms like that. And they have one of those big gardens out back with the bushes and the trees, and like they had a maze, but the maze was just like shrubs. But that was also dope as well. And where else did she take me? Oh, it was actually Latvia's 800 and something birthday, so they were having like celebrations as well. They had like this big basketball competition that lasts like 2 or 3 days non-stop. They have like celebrities play against like artists, and celebrities play against other celebrities and news people and all that kind of stuff. And it's just a good old time. So Latvia, I don't know if it's just Latvia, because I'm thinking it's probably the Baltic states, which is like Latvia, Lithuania, I think Poland's part of it, and maybe there's like 1 or 2 more. But I think that's a hidden gem. Like if you're into the Caucasian women, my God, you're hard pressed to find anything below a 6 out there.
Interesting.
Because everyone's just like attractive. The girls I mean. So like I said, I shouldn't have told you guys, because you guys know about that. Still going to Colombia.
Hey, so real quick, Berlin, so Germany.
Yep. Berlin's a mixing pot, so you get everything out of Berlin.
Amsterdam, Latvia.
Yeah.
Did you see any other Black Americans in any of those 3 places?
Sprinkled.
Okay.
Sprinkled, yes.
All right. Did y'all give each other like the,
yeah,
as you walk by?
Pretty much. I made the joke like I was in Latvia. I was like, you watch those TV shows and they have like the population sign, and someone comes in, the population number changes. In Latvia, it was like population Black people 4, and when I got there 5. Because that's about as many as I saw there. From the people I interacted with, they were very nice, very accommodating, and I did get a lot of stares. I don't think they were like bad stares, just like, a Black person, that kind of thing.
There were a couple of places that I've been to that you could tell that they just hadn't seen anybody of color, or it's rare, so you will get looked at.
Right.
And it's not them being rude or disrespectful. It's just different to them. Oh, yeah. So they'll look like, I remember when I saw this foreign lady, and I'm looking at her because I'm like, what are you? Like, I couldn't tell her background, mixed ethnicity, and I caught myself looking. Now, I stared at that time, but it was staring, trying to get my brain to process and figure things out. But if you're ever traveling overseas and you're somebody of color, don't be alarmed at people looking at you. They aren't staring to be rude.
Right.
It's just different for them. depending on where it is that you go.
Right, and so far, all the places I've traveled internationally, I've never gotten that stare of like, especially when you're in a store, of like, is this person about to stare from me? I've never gotten that feeling at all. And for the most part, they don't even care that you're even in the store. In America, I've been followed in stores in America, in Home Depot. I was looking at night lights.
Bro, don't get me started. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because we're black and bearded.
Maybe.
I don't know. It is the weirdest thing. My brother used to work in retail, and he said that they had a code for go up and customer service that person if it was somebody that they had misgivings on and thinking if they were there to like steal or whatever.
Yeah.
So they would, walk up and say, hey, welcome to such and such. Is there anything that I can help you out with? I'm just like, nah, I didn't see you do that to so-and-so over there. They've been here longer than me.
Right? Exactly. I was in the light bulb section of Home Depot. So I was looking for night lights. And this guy who works there comes over like right next to me, and he starts going through something above me. He's not scanning anything. He's not putting anything back. He's not even counting. I'm just like, you gonna steal a light bulb? Like, what's wrong with you? So, yeah, like I said, I never got that feeling at all in Europe. Everyone was really nice to me. Once again, part of that was my status as far as like hotel and airline stuff, because I definitely got the normal treatment at my hotels until they pulled up my account. Yeah, because like I exclusively stay at like Hilton properties, and I'm a Diamond member, which is the top whatever you can be there. And I've been to a couple hotels now where they have continental breakfast, and when you go down, they ask you for your last name and your room number. And there was this girl, she was in the elevator with me, and she was going to breakfast as well. And another girl in front of me, and I'm watching, they asked for her last name and her room number, and they're basically like, okay, just go pick a seat. And so I was right behind, and then he asked me for my name, my room number, and he was like, oh my God, Mr. Blank, I'm not saying my last name, thank you for being a Diamond member, and this whole spiel, because they all say the same thing I've noticed, there's a spiel they have for Diamond members. And he was asking me, like, have you been here before? Do you stay at a lot of Hilton hotels exclusively? I was like, yes. Then he's like, all right, well, follow me, I'll take you to your table. And I was like, okay.
We have a complimentary footwear waiting for you around the corner.
But that's the other thing. So I'm not trying to brag, but like, if you guys can get your status up any way you can, whether it's through a job or whatever, I also got access to the executive lounges. I only used it like once or twice because I was out partying or I was sleeping or tired. But the executive lounge, they basically give you free food, and it's not like a full meal. It's just like kind of like finger foods and stuff like that, but also free alcohol, and like it's like a free happy hour basically. Each different location. Sometimes it's every day. Some or it's like every Wednesday, something like that. But it's really nice having those extra perks. You can get a little pregame going before you go anywhere else.
Dope.
So that was much appreciated as well.
I think this thing's zooming on me more because I got a big ass head.
That's probably because I'm dark. You can't see me. I'm too black. Your phone's racist. You got a racist phone.
Oh,
speaking of phones, in Europe, the phone of choice apparently is Android, Samsung.
Ooh.
I saw very few iPhones. I saw a whole bunch of Samsungs and a whole bunch of advertisements for Samsung. So that was interesting. Just in case you can see.
Thank you.
Yep. It's very. It was very different. From Latvia, I went to Stockholm, Sweden. In Sweden, I was very tired because my friend had me out until about 5 o'clock the morning before, 5 a.m. the morning before. My flight was like at 9 a.m. So I only got like an hour or two of sleep. Yeah.
Yeah.
I had to make sure I got to the airport on time to make my flight. So I flew to Stockholm, Sweden. And God, Stockholm is probably a great city, but I have no idea. Because I got into Stockholm, I think about 10:30. I arrived at 10:30 a.m. It took me until about 4, somewhere between 4 p.m. and 5 p.m. to get to my hotel. Not because it was far away, because I could not figure out the goddamn trains. And yeah, because I Googled it, and I'm good with maps. And Google said it took me about 45 minutes to get from the airport to my hotel. I was like, perfect. Go to the hotel, take a little nap, hit the gym, and then go out. That didn't work out. So I got to you got to take this, what's called the Arlanda Express. No, that might have been I don't know. You take an express train from the airport to a central station. And from that central station, take another train to my hotel. So I found the right train tracks, I guess you would say. It's like 17, 18, 19, like the green line. But there was no one up there. I was like, am I in the right place? This doesn't seem right. And also I had no ticket. So I'm like, I gotta buy a ticket, I'm sure these aren't free. So I'm looking around for a ticket booth, couldn't find a ticket booth. I go down and ask somebody, oh, you need to be on, number 4. I'm like, number 4? Like, yeah, number 4. I'm like, okay. So I eventually found a ticket booth or something like that. I might be getting this story a little mixed up because I forget the actual time frame of events. So, long story short, I took like this intercontinental train in the opposite direction. The guy who comes to check your ticket, I was like, I think I'm on the wrong train. He looks at my ticket, he's like, yeah, you're on the wrong train. You're going the wrong way. So he was like,
wow.
Yeah, he's like, on the next stop, just go ahead and get off, and then catch the next one back. It'll be a blue and silver train. Hop on that one and catch it back. I'm like, all right, cool, thank you.
Pause 1 second.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so with the train, I took like an intercontinental train the wrong way, about 2 stops. And so when I got to the first stop, like I said, the guy said, get off from the first stop, hop on the blue and silver train, and go back the other way. I said, thank you, I'll do that. So we get to the station, and we're kind of creeping up to the station. I'm thinking, okay, we're not at the station. There's probably something going on in front of us, and we'll pull up, and the doors will open, and I'll get out of my seat and get off the train. When we get there, I see a train to the left of us, a blue and silver train, like he told me. But I was waiting, and then the train started pulling off. I was like, what's going on? Not knowing that the train had reached the station, and the doors don't open automatically like they do out here in DC. A lot of trains and buses, there's usually a button you have to press to open the doors. So that you have to be aware of.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, and then, like, is it just on the outside? You just press it and...
Yeah, inside and outside, yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So when you guys are traveling in Europe, a lot of their public transportation doors, there's a button you got to press yourself to let yourself in and out. What else is there? So yeah, so I went 2 stops up. I missed the first stop, and then and here's the other thing. I had bought a SIM card in Germany, so I would have service. It worked fine in Germany. Everywhere else, it was trash. Didn't work. So I was buying data I switched back to my regular SIM card, and I was buying data, and it was just running through my data for some reason. I didn't figure it out until it was too late that even when your phone's in standby, it's still going through data. So I was like, yeah. So I went through about probably $60 of data in like 2 or 3 days that I didn't get to use. Yeah. So after that, I was like, I'm just gonna use Wi-Fi because it's getting too expensive. Because even when I did buy the data and I was only using the data, it just goes like that. So I got to the second station. Luckily, my Google Maps was working. I did download Google Maps for the areas I was going to, and also Google Translate for the areas I was going to. Pro tip, wherever you're going, if you don't speak the language, it typically is not a problem, but do your due diligence and download the map of where you're going to be at, and download the language so you can translate with your phone through Google Translate. So that did help out. So I finally made it back on the train. I went like 1 stop backwards, and guess where I ended up at? Back at the airport. Yes.
All right, how much time has gone by?
I don't know, like an hour or 2. I don't know. Shoot. So yeah, ended up back at the airport, and I was trying to like get directions as far as like where to go, and the lady wasn't super helpful. She was kind of curt with me, cause she was like, you can take the bus, you can take the train. I was like, well, what's better? She was like, the bus is cheaper. I was like, okay, well, I guess hit the bus. So I was like, I'm hungry. I haven't ate in a while. So I went to McDonald's in the airport, got some food there. That's another thing, well, at least for Europe. This also happened to be in Japan. When you throw away your food, everything is sorted out and separated. So even your ice, there's a tray for your ice where you put your ice from your cup if you didn't finish your drink. There's a place for your liquid. There's a place for the plastics. There's a place for the food if you don't finish your food. I like that. It's better than just throwing everything out in the same trash bag. So after I ate my food, I hopped on the bus, and did the bus go the wrong way? No, the bus took me back to the central station. So I was back in the central station, and I had to figure out which train I needed to take to get to my hotel. So after I figured out that by asking like 3 different people who told me 3 different ways to go, I finally found a train I was supposed to go on to, which it was also hard to find the ticket booth to pay for a ticket. And when I did, the guy was like, "You pay for it with your credit card." I was like, "What? I don't need a ticket?" He's like, "No, just use your credit card." I was like, "Okay." So I got on the train, and I got on the wrong train again. I went the wrong direction. It was right train, wrong direction.
Okay.
Yeah. So I went like 3 stops the wrong direction, and I was like, none of these names are matching up with where I'm supposed to be going. So I hopped up the train again, and I looked up the signs, and the signs were a little easier to read as far as where to go. So I hopped back on the train and went 5 stops back the other way. Finally found my station, and then I walked to my hotel, which hotel's probably like a quarter mile away, maybe, if that. And I was just tired. I just went to sleep. And that was basically it. I didn't really do much the next day. I was there in Stockholm for 2 days, and I went out to eat the second night, the night before I left, at a restaurant around the corner, and that was it.
Stockholm, Sweden just came and went, but you spent several hours just getting from the airport to the train to your hotel.
Right. Just wasted my time there, basically. I heard it's a great place to go. I don't know. And then my last stop was in London, in the UK. So once again, went to the hotel, got there with no issues, no train issues this time. And staff was, once again, they treat you like a normal person when you walk in, but when they see my status, I'm like, "Oh, right this way, Mr. And then with my stats, I can also like ask for an upgraded room. I was like, "So you got any upgraded rooms available?" And she's like, "Yeah, I'm looking for that now." So they gave me an upgraded room. It was like a deluxe king. It was still tiny. Pretty much everything in Europe is tiny. It was a nice room though. And I called I texted my cousin through WhatsApp. I was like, "Hey, I'm in London, just in case." I didn't want to get home and him be like, "You didn't tell me you were in London." So I was like, "All right, I'm in London. If you want to do something." He was like, "Well, come out to me." I was like, "Ugh." Okay, he lives out in Cardiff, and that's about 3 hours away.
Damn.
Yeah. So
hold on, cousin.
Uh-huh.
Time out, cousin. I'm looking at this camera. I think it's over here.
Mm-hmm.
If somebody flies across the pond, you don't say come out to me, even if it's 3 hours. You go get them and you take them back. That's all I'm saying. My bad.
You good. So I hopped on another
or my bad. Or what's a halfway point?
Right.
My bad. All right.
But I had a good time with him. He is what's called a barrister, or he's a barrister and a solicitor, and that's basically a lawyer. That's what they call lawyers in the UK.
Okay.
So,
is he a UK citizen?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Cool. Does he have a UK accent too?
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right.
Very much so. So much so that I make fun of him. Well, I don't make fun of him. I do my accent when I go out there, and he hates it. And I love that he hates it, so I do more of it. Yes. So I had a good time with him. His son came to join us. His son's 23. His son is about to start a job at the BBC, so that's pretty dope.
Yeah, they're like the largest news over there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
His other son's like a photographer. He's doing really good as well. His daughter, I'm not going to talk about. She's not doing anything bad. It's just that she's doing something, I'll just say top secret, that I can't talk about because I don't know anything about it. They wouldn't tell me. But she's good as well.
Dope.
And then his wife, I love his wife. His wife is like the stereotypical UK woman with the accent and like happy to see you, and just like everything is rosy. And like, for example, last time I was there, we went out, and at the time her son was working at a restaurant or a bar, whatever it was, and she had a few drinks. She was lightweight, and she was like, "Sean, isn't my boy just gorgeous? Isn't he just a gorgeous boy? Look what he..." And he's like, "Derek, look at our boy, he's just so gorgeous." I couldn't help myself. And she just has like these little sayings where she'll just like put like a Y on the end of things. Like, so when I first went there, I had like a sore throat and a cough, whatever. And apparently, well, she was like, "Oh, do you have a chesty cough?" I was like, "What?" She's like, "A chesty cough." I'm like, "What's a chesty cough?" She's like, "You cough from your chest." I'm like, "We just called it a chest cough. There's no need to put a Y on both those words." But here's the thing: their cough medicine also says chesty cough. And they feel like a sore throat. It's like a tickly something or other, a sore tickly ears. I don't know. I forget what it's called. Yeah, she just says like funny things like that. Just like it cracks me up. But she is so lovely. Like I love this woman. I went there. She's offering me tea, and she's like, just make yourself at home, and our house is your house. Anything you want, anything you need, just let me know. Just ask for it. It's not too much trouble at all. And yeah, she's a talker. I'll leave that at that.
Man, if I go over there and somebody offer me tea, I would just have the biggest grin on my face because I'm like, y'all got some crumpets too?
Right?
I don't even know what a crumpet is.
Neither do I.
And I've been to the UK.
But yeah, she's just, the only word I can say is like, she is just lovely,
Dope.
So I was out there for 2 days because I was basically the end of my trip. I just flew back. And I am in the car with King now. We're heading back.
All right, man. So, traveling over in European countries is different than traveling like in the States because they're within, I'm not going to say close proximity. And you still have to use your passport when you go into all these different places. Were there any hassles that you came across?
Only Berlin.
Okay.
Berlin was crazy about their security. I'm like, what's going on in Berlin? So here's what happened. I was going through security as he normally would, and they basically take everything out your bag, down to like you get any liquids that are like the 3 milliliters, whatever, or 3 ounces, and then they give you like a little Ziploc bag. Anything that doesn't fit in that bag, you have to toss. It doesn't matter if it's under 3 ounces. So anyway, so after I did that, took out my tablet I have with me and my drone and like that, and put it in the bins. They do the scan, the body scan, and the body scan I think was basically clean. Yeah, it was clean, but he still patted me down. And I had a dude pat me down, and this dude was like patting me down, where he patted my dick down and patted my arms down. I'm like, yo, what's going on? I try and said, you are very thorough.
I've never had that thorough of a pat down anywhere.
Me either. I don't know if he liked me or he's like, dark meat.
Interesting. All right. Germany.
Yeah. So then came my drone. So my drone is in 2 separate cases for the remote and for the drone itself. And they called over the cops for my drone. And they were nice too. The girl, she was very attractive, so it was hard to be mad at them. And she turned and gave me a little smile, and she was like, hi. I was like, hi. And as the guy, he's like, opened my drone case, it's a zipper case, he's opening it like super slow, like there's a bomb or acid in it or something like that. I'm like, is this a drone? And so he takes it out, kind of looks at it, turns it a little bit, and I have another bag for my batteries. So you're supposed to have a flame retardant battery in case your battery explodes in the airplane. Opens up the little Velcro case for that, and he's just looking at it, and I think they went on their phone to like look up what it was. I'm like, it's just batteries. You can see it fits right into the drone. So Berlin was very thorough with their security check. I don't know if that's normal, but that's what it was for me. But I appreciate it. It means you're that much more safer on the airplane.
All right, so not to count your pockets, but one of the things that people talk about with traveling is just understanding the cost, because people have this thing, passport bros are just dudes, blah blah blah, but it's like, nah, like you have to think about it. You have to be able to afford to be able to travel and stuff like that. So estimate, ballpark figure, don't count hotels, don't count your flight.
I didn't pay for hotels.
How much did you spend to do things during the entire duration? Just an estimate.
I would say no more than $2,000. I don't think I even came close to $2,000.
Okay.
It was probably somewhere between $1,000 and $2,000, honestly. Because, yeah, it was probably definitely on the low side of $1,000, I think.
Oh.
Yeah, I think it's probably, yeah. Because, like I said, my hotels are paid for, I had points. airfare we're not counting in this calculation. So all I was paying for was food. Food's pretty cheap because the dollar is still pretty strong in most of these places, except for the UK. So your dollar's gonna go a bit further. What else was there?
And were you using your card, or did you get money out? Okay.
I did get money out a few times because Europe still kind of is more a cash-based place, but because of COVID, they are using credit cards more. If you are going to go to these places, get yourself a credit card and make sure it has free, what's it called?
International, like, conversion,
yes.
currency conversion.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Make sure it has a free conversion on
Free.
Because,
that's a pro tip.
Right, because if you don't have it on your card, whatever you buy on your credit card, there's be an extra percentage on there for them to convert whatever money you're paying for or asking for. So I have like 2 or 3 credit cards that have that free conversion fee on there. The credit card out there that's accepted the most is Visa and MasterCard. I also have a Discover. Some places accepted my Discover, not all.
My Discover is my highest in my limit, but I've learned that you might as well just stick to Visa or MasterCard, because you can get to some place to be like, yeah, we don't take Discover. I'm like,
you should have a luck. Exactly. Main part, I'm sure because you guys are listening to our content you guys want to hear about, is the women. And the women were very pleasant. They were very nice. I wanted to do interviews out there, but those didn't come together because of timing, weather, and also a little bit of the language barrier. Some people, even though they speak English, they don't speak it very well, so they weren't comfortable doing that on camera. Maybe next time I can actually line up people who speak the language, and that'll help coax them over to have interviews. The women are very attractive in that part of the country, no, part of the world. And even though they're very attractive, that's like normal. It's average. They're women in America, don't hate me for this. So it's kind of like how you have
I already know what you're gonna say.
Yeah.
I already know what you're gonna say.
It's kind of like how you have like an LA 10, and an LA 10 is not the same thing as a 10 on the East Coast. It might be a East Coast 6 or 7, you know? Oh, sorry, East Coast, is that the right way? Whatever, you get the example. But for them out there, like I said, you're not gonna get anything more or less below a 6. Pretty much everyone, I wouldn't say everyone is fit, but you're hard pressed to find overweight. So everyone is within a good body range to even like fit, thin, tall. Women over there are tall too, especially in Latvia. There's a lot of women that are taller than I was. I was like, oh, okay. You're gonna find a lot of blonde hair, blue eyes, stuff like that. Yeah, it's definitely a treasure trove. I wasn't on the dating apps to do my research, and there weren't, at least in their profiles, not a lot of single moms. I did see a few on the dating apps, single moms with kids, but majority were just single girls doing stuff in school, as far as like in college, and you know, they might be living with their parents still. But yeah, London is starting to become like America.
No,
they are, unfortunately.
No.
Unfortunately, yeah. They're not as bad as in America, but they're starting to be that way.
Well,
yeah.
Scratch that one.
No, you should still go to London. You can probably find you have a better chance to find a decent girl in London than you do in America. Sorry, American women, which is what it is.
Huh.
That should only hurt you if you're the type of person where, you know, it's pointed at. But if you have that type of girl, it shouldn't hurt your feelings.
Did you find people talking to you and fascinated by the fact that you had an American accent versus some local language to them?
Not really. No, I still haven't gotten that experience, like how we get that experience when we hear someone's from like Britain or London or wherever else, or France. If they did, they didn't say anything to me about it.
Gotcha.
I think there was more happy to see someone like from America like me out there. And this is to the brothers that watch the channel. If you're gonna go to one of these countries and you want to do well, you don't have to go with a lot of money. You don't have to go there flashing money. You definitely shouldn't flash money in the first place. Never flash money wherever you go. It's a bad idea. But be in decent shape and have some decent clothes. And what I mean by decent clothes, don't wear a lot of clothes that have like a lot of like name brands like on your chest and this and that. just go there and, you know, kind of look respectable and just give the idea that you're a well-to-do person with a brain between your ears, and you'll do very well out there. Because, matter of fact, one of the clubs we went to in Latvia, I think this woman was with her man, and she would not stop staring and smiling at me while she was dancing with him. I was just like, this is wild. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, like I said, just look nice. I mean, I just wore basically this. I had a couple of button-up shirts. I had some chino pants and some shorts, and I had 3 pairs of shoes, and they were light-colored shoes. I had some Nike Air Force Ones. They're all white. I had these little slip-ons I got from Amazon for like $40, and I got some blue Adidas. That was it.
Yeah, you didn't carry a big luggage bag. I saw your luggage bag. I'm like, that's what you had for a week and a half?
Oh, yeah. And there was still stuff I didn't wear. So,
bravo.
Yeah, it was, I would say if you're going to travel to a place like that during the summertime, so you can pack a small luggage and you can put it in a carry-on. And you save some money that way doing carry-on. Now, if you're going to be hopping from location to location, they are a little bit different. Their airline's a little bit different than ours, where as long as it fits in the little thing for us, you can bring it on board. For them, there's a weight limit. I think it's 4 kilograms or 8 kilograms. And typically, the easiest, quickest, the fast and dirty way to do the kilogram conversion is to double it. So if it's 8 kilograms, that means 16 pounds. 4 kilograms, 8 pounds. And my suitcase, I think, was like 24 pounds. So I did have to pay to check my bag once or twice.
Okay.
So yeah.
All right.
To fly from place to place, it can be as cheap as like $65 to fly from one location to another. You can't fly anywhere in America for $65. But yeah, we got plenty of tips for you guys. So if you guys, have questions, drop it in the email, drop it in the comments.
So TDG has tackled Europe. What's next?
I don't know. Because this part of TDG is trying to settle down. I'm an old man.
Hey, I started hearing you talk about 3 a.m., 4 a.m. club, and I'm like, ain't no way.
This was the last hurrah.
On a good day, even with rest, I'm staying up that long.
Yeah, actually, like 5 or 6.
Burn
Burning that midnight oil.
My whole next day is shot.
Yeah, that's what those days I did take the whole day off and just sleep.
I remember doing that, man, in my 20s. I don't even. That seemed like such a long time ago. I'm 39. I'm about to be 40 next year. I remember them days of hitting up the discotecas over in Europe, and yeah, you're like going out at 9, 10, up until 4, 5 o'clock, getting up at noon and still doing stuff. No, no, no. That life is a different lifetime.
Right. That's why I said, I'm 40. It's probably the last time I'm gonna do this, something like this, unless I go with like a group of people, but by myself. Probably the last time I do it by myself. Because one thing to touch on, Amsterdam is very much, in my opinion, a group city. You can have fun by yourself, but it's very much a group city. You should definitely go with at least one other person to Amsterdam.
All right.
That's just my opinion.
Cool. Well, hey man, I appreciate the recap.
Yeah.
Oh.
I got offered cocaine.
Hey, in Amsterdam?
Yeah. It was funny though. So I was leaving the club. This is after the Irish guy or the Scottish guy got thrown out. I waited like 30 to 45 minutes before I left. Decided to run into him. And so I'm walking, and actually the same club I was in, there was this black girl with like this, I'm just gonna say Arabic. I don't know what he was. Let's say Arabic dude, and he was a little shorter than she was. They were having a good time together. Like, I guess they were together. So I'm leaving, when I see them on the opposite side of the road, and there's a guy on a bike, and he was talking to them. I was like, okay, whatever. He finishes talking. He comes over to me. He's like, you see that? I was like, what? He said, I'm too over there. They're like, yeah. He's like, that doesn't bother you? I'm like, no. Why would it bother me? You don't care the black girl is with not a black man? I was like, no. He's like, hold on. And so I was like, no. And he's like, well, do you date black women? I was like, yeah. I mean, I date anyone. He's like, oh, you don't date black women, that kind of shit. So after that, he proceeds to be like, you smoke this, that. I was like, no. He's like, sure, I'll get a little sample, it was free. So I'm just like, how is this guy gonna have like a moral quandary about who dates who, but you out here selling drugs that can potentially kill people? And he was like a Muslim or something like that. I'm like, you are the biggest hypocrite right now, sir.
Yo.
Yeah, it was wild. And then he saw me, he found me again as I was walking back. He's like, hey, there you are. And I was like, hey, relax. But other than that, I mean, he was fine though. No one really pushes up on you to do anything. Always keep your wits about you. Don't go anywhere drunk by yourself, obviously, because I think people will take advantage if you do that. I mean, like stupid drunk. But I was always, even though I'd been drinking, they couldn't tell. So I was safe.
This has been another episode of TDG on the road, man. I'm glad that we were able to do this on the road again. I'm glad you had a good time, man. I think the next passport usage is going to be me. Oh, actually, no. No.
Tomorrow.
Oh, my goodness. It's going to be you tomorrow. Yeah. That's right.
Yeah. Going to Canada for the weekend.
I was going to say it was going to be me up to Canada, but no, it's you up to Canada.
Yeah. So I'm going to go check out Canada. I'm being Calgary.
Oh, Canada. Hey, you have to get a...
What are you talking about?
Hey, Canada, my bad.
And then you guys see you're sorry.
We love y'all.
Are you sorry?
We love y'all. All right, that's dope, man. I'm not going deep into Canada. I might. It depends. If I could take this car into Canada when I go, then I'll do some exploring. I plan on going. That it's possible. I'm trying to plan this out because it's different when I'm traveling solo versus with my lady and my daughter who might be coming with me. So we'll see exactly how much of Canada I get to see. I've been there before. Yeah. I've been to Canada before, so it's not like it'll be a first time for me. But the last time I was active duty military, and we went to this. No, I can't say this story publicly. Let's just say we went to this hole in the wall spot where you can cook your own steaks. Like they just give you the steak and there's grills and you can cook your own steak, but there was some interesting locals that knew that we weren't local, and we had a good time. I'll just keep it right there.
There you
go. But all right, cool. So TDG on the road, back at it again. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. If you've been to any of the European countries that Sean has been to, that you have some pro tips, it's like, oh man, Sean should have covered this. Put it down in the comment section. Help a brother out.
Yeah.
All right.
Exactly.
But that's it, y'all. We out. Peace.
Let's get it. Shake it like understand who I is. Not that many gon' do it like this. Bob your head, we can hear my shit, but I'm on my shit. I ain't had no chill. I'm who I are, I'm who I is. Taylor Susan, I play the part. Fuck a fire, how you mesmerize. Black Austin pies, man, that I'm stupid. Then again, oh so clever. On my loony, pour that lever. Talk my shit, I'm talking hella flow, baby, you know.